Hola, ¿cómo estás? Hoy vamos a aprender de las preposiciones de ubicación y los adjetivos demostrativos. These types of words will help us to answer the questions ¿dónde está? And ¿cuál es? Vamos a empezar con las preposiciones de ubicación. As we begin, it's important to note that preposiciones de ubicación in inglés significa prepositions of location. We use these words to indicate, usamos estas palabras para indicar where one item or person is in relation to another. So as we take the notes on these, what you're going to do is you are going to look at the slide starting with this one, okay? Tienes que escribir la traducción de la expresión en inglés. So you see that just below the instructions on la primera página, número uno says al lado de. Al lado de means next to. Then you need to mirar la foto que está en la diapositiva. So diapositiva means slide. So for each slide and each preposición de ubicación, there is a photo. You will see the same photo repeated more than once, but not every single time. And you will need to write down then as well the correct vocabulary word, palabra de vocabulario, from your vocabulary list on La Casa and y los quehaceres to complete the sentence. So what you need to do as you do this is you need to use the photos as your reference. So once again for número uno, al lado de significa next to. Please take a look at the sentence and write down en español something that could be al lado del sofá. For the remaining pictures, what you need to do is write down the expression, and then I'll pause for a few seconds on the video, and if you can do things like that, great. If not, pause the video and take a look at the picture to make sure that you are able to figure out which word is being described. For número dos, encima de significa on top of. Hay unas flores encima de. For número tres, tenemos sobre. That means above or over. Las pinturas están sobre. Note the difference between encima de, on top of, which you just saw, where the flowers are directly on top of the counter, and sobre, above or over. The paintings may be above the couch or the sofa, but they're certainly not touching it, whereas the flowers in the previous picture were touching directly on top of the counter. Número cuatro, debajo de. El televisor está debajo del blank. Debajo de means under. Número cinco, entre, en inglés, significa between. Blank está entre los dos sillones. Número seis, dentro de. Dentro de en inglés significa inside. Hay muchos platos dentro del. Número siete. This slide here works for both número siete, a la derecha de, which is to the right of, and a la izquierda de, to the left of. What we have here are dos oraciones. Blank está a la derecha de la puerta. Y blank está a la izquierda de la puerta. Número 8, tenemos cerca de. Blank está cerca del fregadero. Y para número 9 tenemos lejos de. La mesa está lejos del blank. Be aware that I'm aware for some of these, especially when you're talking about a la derecha, a la izquierda, lejos de, cerca de. You may have more than one answer that could be correct. And so if you're uncertain, make sure that you ask me in class after you listen to the notes or when I come to check them over. Now we're moving on to los adjetivos demostrativos. And what we actually use these words for is to indicate the distance that an item or items or people are to the person who is speaking. So what you're going to do is you are going to write down the notes, fill in the blanks, fill in the charts as we go through. And then you're going to complete a short activity that will require you to look at the last slide here, and then also the exercise on página 3. We start off here with the words for this and these. We use these specific words para indicar que una cosa está cerca de, o unas cosas están cerca de, la persona que habla. So if I'm talking about this item or these items, they're pretty close to me. You'll notice that we also have both masculine and feminine, singular and plural forms. Este and estos, masculino singular y masculino plural. Esta, no accent, and estas, no accent, femenino singular and femenino plural. La palabra clave, or keyword, for these expressions is aquí. So you'll note that when you do the activity, and when you do a lot of activities with demonstrative adjectives, you'll see aquí as a keyword in a sentence, when I want you to narrow your choices down to este, esta, estos, or estas. And in fact, in the activity on página 3, these keywords are italicized for you. Para indicar que una cosa está, o unas cosas están, un poco más lejos de la persona que habla, a little farther away, we say that or those. Once again, masculino, femenino, singular y plural. Masculino, singular y plural, tenemos ese y esos. Femenino, singular y plural, tenemos esa y esas. And if I'm talking about that book over there or those pens over there, I'm talking about something that's a little farther away from me, but probably not terribly far away. La palabra clave, or keyword, es allí, which means there. Something that's farther away from me, but not so terribly far that I can't walk a short distance and get it. Finalmente, tenemos estos adjetivos demostrativos that we use para indicar que una cosa está, o que unas cosas están muy lejos de la persona que habla. These words are used specifically to indicate something that is far away, that cannot be easily reached. So it can be something that's on the other side of a room, on the other side of a building, on the other side of the world. It depends on your interpretation. So the best way to translate this in English is that way over there and those way over there. You'll notice that these masculine and feminine forms are quite different in terms of spelling than the other demonstrative adjectives. But we have for masculino, singular y plural, aquel and aquellos. For femenino, singular y plural, we have aquella and aquellas. Y hay dos palabras claves, two keywords that you might see. Allá, which means way over there, y lejos, which means far away. Now that you have this information down, you need to look at this photo to complete the activity titled Para practicar en la página 3. Adela es la chica que está aquí a la izquierda. Y ella busca muebles, furniture, para su apartamento nuevo. Y habla con la dependiente de lo que ve. So she and the saleswoman are talking about what they see. And yes, this worksheet is based on the items in this picture. So you need to be looking at this photo as a reference as you do this. And remember that any keywords that are used and then the adjectives that you choose to use should be based from the viewpoint of the girl. So something that's cerca would be close, or something that might be this or these might be around here, that or those may be around here, and way over there, consider things that are across the room. Bring everything to class on the date that the assignment's due. Gracias y buena suerte.